In a world, in the wild update, in Minecraft, one man can save us, only one man can keep. Building useless redstone things, I mean, they're kind of useful. I keep pointing to this elevator over here. Go watch the video on the elevator. That's like the actual useful thing out of all of this. This is not a video on an elevator. We got a bunch of doors that you can build, you know, but this is actually a door that is a trap. It is a trap door. Not this one. This one doesn't work. So imagine for a second you are a person who is standing on this 5x5 area of floor, which is bigger than the last one. And then someone, sneaky, pulls this lever. I don't have friends, so it's me. And now there is no floor. And I have fallen to my doom. I have fallen to my doom. That's the level we're at now. Okay. So if we take the hood off it, this is what it looks like. All things considered, this is some quite simple redstone. The only weird thing is these repeaters here, because the way I've laid out these honey and slime blocks which pull everything in. So if you look, this is blocks on top of honey and slime to make the redstone easier. But the way the shape is, to make it reliable, I need to push these honey blocks in first because they're in front of these slime blocks. But then I need to take the slime blocks away first when it opens up, and then do these. So that's why there's this repeater locking this one on, because it's just to delay these honey blocks pulling back and wait for these slime blocks. Whereas when they first push out, you have to push the honey blocks out first and the slime blocks. The rest of it is just pistons pulling. Honey blocks 2 blocks back, and then there's one set of slime here that has to go 3 blocks to get to the middle. And because I ran into the limit of the amount of blocks you can push and pull, I had to do this. I had to do a bit more complicated double extender, but it's still really simple. It just means that instead of just one pulling back and then the other, you kind of have to do this. This piston will pull back the block to there, then that piston gets pulled back, and then we have to set it off again to do the final thing, pulling the block back from there to there. If that doesn't make any sense to you, don't worry. If you just put the things where they are in this build, then, you know, they work. So one issue with it is you don't get clean sort of walls around it when it's closed, because if these were here, they just get pulled by these blocks and get in the way. So the way you have to do your walls is like this. So you're going to have a bigger than 5x5 gap. And also there's one bit where you can kind of see the redstone as well. Over here. So, you know, not the cleanest thing in existence, but it makes for a cool little fast trap to drop someone down. So how do you build it? So we've got a chest here with the resources we need. Ignore my inventory. It's a little messy. So you're going to need 12 honey blocks, 13 slime blocks, 13 sticky pistons, 49 redstone dust, that's the main resources you'll need, and 17 redstone repeaters. You're also going to need 8 obsidian blocks, and the reason you need the obsidian blocks is because they can go next to the honey and slime blocks with redstone on them, but the honey and slime and pistons don't push obsidian. So that means that we can power this piston with this redstone here, and it won't get messed up by these slime blocks that are next to it. If you want to make it look clean like I did with all this extra stuff, you're going to need extra obsidian. So in total, to sort of make all of the walls and things and not just the redstone, you're going to need 36 obsidian, which is rather a lot, but you know, you can get it in a pretty short amount of time by just grabbing the lava from the nether and then putting some water on it. And almost forgot, but you need a target block as well. That's used in the build. Okay, in terms of space, you're going to need this kind of weird area, so it's 15 by 14 blocks and 2 blocks of height. So what you'd really want to do is, say I've got my 5x5 area here that I want to be my trapdoor. You're going to have to go 5 blocks in to the left, 4 blocks above it, 5 blocks to the right, and 5 blocks away from it. So it's just every direction 5 blocks except for one of them, which is 4 blocks. And the direction that's 4 blocks, your input is to the right of that if you're facing it. So our input is over here. So firstly, 1 block below where you're going to put your door, we're going to do the slime and honey block layout. So on the direction that's 4 blocks instead of 5, we're going to replace these 3 blocks in the middle on the edge with honey, and then the one in the middle 1 block forward with honey. Then we do the same shape rotated on each side of that, so like this. Now, this line in the middle, the other 3 blocks are going to be slime blocks, and same to left and right on the other edge, and then the remaining blocks are honey blocks, like this. So that's the shape it's going to be, and again, if we're looking from this side, so it looks like a wine glass made of honey blocks, then the 4 blocks go backwards from that. Okay, so for our pistons to push these, we're going to sort of put them in the place they'd be when they're extended, so that when we open it up, everything will go back to the right place. So on the side that's 4 blocks, we go 2 blocks behind the left side of the honey, and we place a sticky piston. So if this was extended out, it would grab that honey block. Now on the right side of this honey block shape, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go 1 block further back, like that, and that's just so we can do it like that. Now moving to the right side, we go 2 blocks back on the left side again, and do a sticky piston. But then we just do next to it 1 block back for the other piston. Now we go to this honey block to the right of that, and we do the same thing but mirrored. So should look like that. Then on the back, it's a bit different. So on the left side, we still go 2 blocks back and just do the sticky piston, aiming forward. But then on the right side, we go 5 blocks back and then an extra block. Doesn't have to be obsidian, I'm just doing that to show it's an extra block. And then place 2 pistons aiming forwards. And that's because these pistons extend like this to get the blocks out and back. And then again, you have to do that to get it all the way back. Finally, to the left of our original pistons, we just mirror what we did on this side. So 2 pistons at the edge like this, and then 2 pistons on the other edge as like a reflection of that. And there you go, there's all your pistons. So if this is our side with 4 blocks, here, our input is on the left side and in the middle of the pistons, but on the edge, and it's at the same level as the pistons, and it's just a block with some redstone on it. Then we go across to here, so we've left 4 blocks of space afterwards, and there's just redstone on all these. Then we go to the first piston here with a repeater on 2 ticks, and then we also delay that turning off by having a repeater going into the side like this on 3 ticks, and we have a block next to that with redstone to power it. Then we go 2 blocks to the side with some more redstone, then 2 blocks in this direction towards the door with 2 more bits of redstone, and then next to this piston we do an obsidian and then a normal block, and that's because the obsidian again we can power without being pulled. Then we do a repeater aiming into that redstone, then we do a block with a repeater aiming into that repeater to delay it like we did with the other one, and that's on 2 ticks. And again, the reason we do these delays is so that this will turn off after the slime block one. So speaking of the slime block one, we'll move on to that now. So the first piston, we just do 2 blocks with a redstone and then a repeater on its full delay, so all the way at the back. Then we do blocks going 3 blocks across with redstone on them. Then 2 going forward with a redstone and a repeater on its default. That goes into a block. And then next to this piston we have an obsidian with a redstone to power it. So next, to power these pistons on the side that's only 4 blocks out from the door, we do a block next to this block the repeater goes into. Then we do blocks in this shape with redstone on them. Then next to this piston here, we have a block with a repeater, and that's on its full delay like that with a block. Then next to this redstone we have a block. Then we have a block with a repeater going into another block. And then we do this U shape of blocks like this, aiming at that piston, and we place obsidian next to the piston with redstone on it like this. So that'll be those 2 pistons powered in the right order. So again, this is the side we started from as in the 4 block wide one, and this is where our input is over here. Okay, now moving to the right side, we'll place an obsidian next to this piston and a block behind it to power it with just redstone dust like that. Then we're just going to take some redstone around by going 2 blocks back, 1 across, 1 back, and then 1 across again with redstone all on that, like this. And then we go all the way across until 4 blocks from the edge. So we've left 4 blocks of space and then do it. And we do redstone all along there. Now this back piston here, we do a repeater on 3 ticks, and sorry I did miss a couple of these. Every time there's a repeater aiming at a piston you do have to put a block next to it, so I forgot those on some of them like here. So it does need to be a block after the repeaters so they can power the pistons. So now we have to do a delay thing like we did on the other side with the repeater aiming into a repeater. So at this back piston we do a repeater on 2 ticks. Then we have a block with a repeater aiming into the side of that on its full delay like that. Okay, behind that repeater we're going to do a target block, and that's so the redstone aims at it and powers the repeater, and that's because this redstone wouldn't go far enough if we just did a redstone here. Like, it's more than 15 blocks away, so that's why we use this target block. And then coming out the other side that target block from the redstone, we have a repeater on its default, then an obsidian with a redstone on it to power this piston. But we also need to delay this repeater, so we have a block next to it with a repeater, and then a block next to this target block with a repeater on its default, and then 2 blocks with redstone on, so that power goes around. Okay, finally to power these 3 pistons at the back, we're going to do blocks like this, and then these 2 at the side are obsidian, so like that. Then there's redstone on the obsidian, and this block at the back, and redstone going here. And there's also lastly a redstone there. Then there's a repeater on 3 ticks aiming into a block above the back piston. Then we also have a repeater on 3 ticks into a repeater on 3 ticks next to that, and that's because when the middle piston gets pulled back, these repeaters will still be powered, and we put a block there so that they'll power this piston to pull everything back. So this piston will be put back next to the obsidian, so everything will close away as it should. Now we also need to get power to this piston on this side, and we actually do that from the original side where our input was over here. So we just grab the redstone round in a boring way like this, and then do an obsidian next to that piston with a redstone on it. And now that should be all of our redstone. So if we power our input, so again the side with only 4 blocks sticking out from the door was here at the back, and our input was to the left. So we just power this line of redstone. All our pistons should come out, and then when we turn it off, all of the blocks should go back like that. This one is broken, so I'll have to check the repeater timings. Alright, so what I did was I forgot to put a block in front of this repeater above the back piston on the right side. So, yeah. Oops. So now it should fold like this, and then we'll just fill our blocks in. Like that. Above the honey and slime. And then your blocks on your floor around the edge would be like this. There you go, now it looks a bit more professional. So if we open it up, we've now got a 5x5 hole. But like I said, if you want to fill in the blocks around the outside, it's a bit awkward because you have to be careful of where slime and honey is pushing. So if I go to the shorter side again, here, that is only 4 blocks away from the hole, then for the covering up of the door here, we'll just do a block next to this honey block and then a block diagonally to the side of that like that. And then you can just put normal blocks on top of them, and that'll hide up that side. Then for the other side, we just do 2 obsidian and 2 blocks on top like that, next to the honey block. And the door will still be able to close fine and open up. So now going to the left side. At the back, we do 2 obsidian like this with blocks on top, but there is still this gap where this redstone is. So what you'd have to do is go around the other side and kind of just cover up all the blocks behind this redstone. Like that. And then that would make that side hidden away. And then to the right of that, we just do the 2 obsidian diagonal to each other like that again with blocks. And then that's it all covered up. And for the block below, anywhere there's slime and honey, you're going to have to put obsidian underneath it. Like this. And you do it at the front. And then you can just fill in the rest of the blocks around with normal blocks. Like that. And then you just have to carry that shape the whole way down. So I guess for me, I'd just do it like this. So yeah, it's not the nicest sort of trapdoor in the world because the hole ends up being a lot bigger than the trapdoor space. And it's sort of this weird shape. You could just turn it into a bigger square if you like. But I think it's pretty cool that you can just have this fast and this small redstone. Just a simple 5x5 trapdoor that opens up like this. And you fall down to your doom. Which is very fun, obviously. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I've been Idendite, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.